I am sick. But I haven't done a video in a long while, and I haven't done an article since I got sick. I figured I'd go ahead with this. This past month, Criterion has had a sale, everything for 50% off, DVDs and Blu-Rays, which coincidentally started around the same time that I happened to finally get myself a Blu-ray player.
You're late.
Shut the fuck up. Ooh, bubble wrap. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. 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 And so when I heard about this, I politely went up to my wallet and said,
"You better bend the fuck over."
Of course, I'm not a rich guy. Look at this video. So I figured that I would go every day I worked after work where I would have some small disposable income to buy their $20 Blu-rays and build up on my Blu-ray collection. That'd save the majority of the earnings I make to keep myself from being made broke just because I'm a cinephile. And I'm really happy with what I bought. I think I'm set. I think I won't need Blu-rays for a very long while. So I'd really like to show you all. So come along on our journey into my Criterion haul. I'd first like to go over the DVDs that I got through the sale. So, we got Band of Outsiders. Absolutely one of the most fun films I've ever had the privilege of enjoying. Jean-Luc Godard. This film is basically his own little Quentin Tarantino pastiche. This time, instead of the American films talking about taking things off of the French New Wave, it is the French New Wave taking things out of the more classic American films. And I know Jean-Luc Godard would probably try to kick my ass over this, but he's an old wrinkly bitch, so bring it on, bruh. I mean, please don't. If you really want a movie that will make you feel cool without having to deal with the erratic editing of Breathless, and I don't mean that as a knock to Breathless because I still love that movie, go for Band of Outsiders. Band of Outsiders is it takes you out of the movie just a little bit to let you know that it's a movie, but that only adds to the whole, oh yeah, I know exactly what I'm supposed to be doing at this party feeling. I'm supposed to be having fun. So have some fun. Watch Band of Outsiders. As for the other one, Vampyr, by Theodor Dreyer. Honestly, I've only seen this movie once, and I was pretty close to falling asleep. And this was before I actually came to admire Theodor Dreyer as Denmark's superior filmmaker. Sorry, Lars von Trier. Afterwards, I saw The Passion of Joan of Arc and Day of Wrath. And those were two movies that just blew my mind. They are probably among the best movies I've ever seen, and Theodor Dreyer has proven himself a master of the craft ever since. So I need to give Vampyr another try. I was clearly drowsy to begin with, especially as a huge horror fanatic. I mean, it's called Vampyr, so it has to be horror, right? On the penultimate day of the sale, I actually found out I have a bit more disposable income than I expected. So I got two $15 DVDs again. Le Samourai, because Jean Melville's technique over the film is almost as controlled as Alain Delon's character himself, and that's pretty impressive. Usually I'm not a fan of it, but in a movie like this, that sort of David Fincher, Christopher Nolan aesthetic and presentation actually really helps characterize the film. And I have something to say. I'm sick, forgive me. And Repo Man. There's no real reason it's not a fantastic movie. I mean, it's Alex Cox. It's fucking punk rock, man. And Harry Dean Stanton. And a censored version of the movie. That also attracts me.
Oh, you can get the flipping $20,000 for the
Make
Malibu.
it a flipping month.
Yeah, we'll flip you.
But now I would like to talk about the DVD Blu-ray combinations that I did get, the dual format stuff. If you're looking for a raunchy, juvenile type of sex-driven comedy, go for American Pie. No, I'm not going to stick my dick in it. It's fucking gross. But if you're looking for classy, more road trip type of stuff, more road trip type of stuff with incredible acting and surprisingly political undertones beneath, go for Y Tu Mamá También. Alfonso Cuaron has quickly become one of my favorite filmmakers after I started sifting through his stuff. What with Gravity, Children of Men, and so on and so forth. And in this one, same as those two, he's with Emmanuel Lubezki. And, well, Emmanuel Lubezki has quickly become my favorite cinematographer alive. Plus, we've got some fantastic work by Diego Luna, Gael Garcia Bernal, and Maribel Verdú, who, if you don't recognize those names, you've at least seen one film starring or directed by either of those people, assuming you've seen Pan's Labyrinth or, you know, stuff like that. As for the next one, I think I fixed a little something special.
I got a hard day's night, 'cause I'm a Beatles fan, and it's worth it just to see it in Blu-ray or DVD if I found. But what the hell do you got the more than one damn box to make me feel alright? And then now this will push my mind over to the edge. And if I'm ever gonna look at the special features in either format, if I can, I didn't really want it for the supplement, so maybe I just wanna listen to the song, even though I love them more. I'm CD box, 'cause that's the way that I rock, right there.
Well, enough with that. And now we're going to talk about my final dual format Blu-ray DVD, Thief, starring James Caan. To me, the best of the Michael Manns, other than The Last of the Mohicans. People would like to talk about their heat, but that's just because it's got Al Pacino and Robert De Niro, which honestly that seems like a nice combo. But Thief is a wonderful little dissection of domestic life, whether you're a criminal or a crook, or a simple working stick. You're crazy and it's neo-noir, so you know it's going to be good. Get you all to the edge of your seat. Full throttle tension. Not much conflict except for the end. But that's what's really great. The conflict is inside of James Caan's character, trying to settle in, get down with his old lady. Brilliant performances by James Caan, Willie Nelson, Tuesday Wells. Really got that flavor, that character of Chicago, even though this is very obviously Miami. I'm glad I bought it. Now I'm gonna go home and watch it. But hey, now it's time for some of the Blu-rays I got, you know what I'm saying? And first off, let's do a road trip type of thing with Badlands by Terrence Malick. That's my choice right there. Also, I'm at a red light, so I'm not as living dangerously as I wanted to, which would have been cool, because Badlands is about a serial killer, and it's Terrence Malick, and it's goddamn, it's romantic serial killing, you know what I mean? Kiss me like Sissy Spacek. Oh no, that's cool. Imaginary girlfriend, you don't gotta do nothing. That's fine. Okay, I'm gonna shut this off because I feel like this is dangerous and I better not try. Of course, with sickness comes a lot of misery. I could be miserable through films too. And they didn't have any Ingmar Bergman that I didn't already have that I was in a hurry to buy. They had Fanny and Alexander, but I can't sit through a full miniseries. I just can't. I love it, but I just can't. On the other hand, they did have L'Avventura by Michelangelo Antonioni, revolving around disappearances. It's kind of like The Vanishing, except a little less villain-driven. It's a wonderful looking film. It's just really, really depressing. You know what? Fuck this. It's not funny anymore. But L'Avventura, fantastic films. Italian New Wave. I mean, if you want to get pretentious like that, Mambo Italiano, bitches. San Soleil. I forgot what I was going to say about San Soleil. This past summer, I've actually had a chance to see 8.5 and Paris, Texas on the big screen at Cannes, but unfortunately, 8.5, I arrived at Cannes a little bit too late, and Paris, Texas, I think I went to see Pulp Fiction as hosted by Quentin Tarantino instead, but if I ever get a chance, I'm definitely going to see them again. 8.5 is the godfather of modern cinema, not even Italian cinema, modern cinema. And it's funny because of how biting it is. I haven't seen a director throw so much dirty trash to the studio system since, oh wait, never mind. While Paris, Texas, it's just a beautiful, moving film. It's Harry Dean Stanton's best performance. Dean Stockwell, I have a nostalgia for because Quantum Leap. And Wim Wenders is one of the most astounding directors of the German New Wave since he had been around. So these two, real treat for me. My copy of Le W de Véronique has some damage to it. Perforated it. Squeezed in a little bit too much at the booklet, huh? Have you, Barnes & Noble? But it's all good. It's all good, man. Partly because I'm too sick to beat you up, partly because you're a store so I can't beat you up, but also partly because I'm glad to have this movie in my collection finally. Krzysztof Kieslowski is, you know, he's just so dreamy, so precise about his films. The Decalogue is in my collection, and I've never stopped watching the Decalogue. Le W de Véronique, I actually only just saw earlier this year, but I adored it, and I probably won't stop watching it. It's a great story about duality, bonds, souls, identity, love, nationality. Especially Kieslowski had a lot of films about nationality, including the Trois Couleurs trilogy, which unfortunately I wasn't able to find as a box set. I probably would have got that, but you know, at least got the W de Véronique. Now, of course, one of the next little pieces I got was The Rules of the Game, La Règle du Jeu, which was directed by Jean Renoir in 1939. I caused some riots, and that immediately made it perfect for me to buy. But what was very astounding about it is how it uses its cinematography and its deep focus, of course, which this camera does not have, to create a sort of sense of physical space for the characters to move around in. It's a very, very lived-in world thanks to that, and it allowed me to become more attached to bourgeois characters that at first I wasn't immediately into. And for that, I really, really admire La Règle du Jeu and really recommend it to anybody else who is looking into a French film that will be a lot of fun and really funny to boot. It's a well-known fact about what country of origin I am. It's kind of not news. Upon one of the Blu-rays presenting itself to me, I immediately had to buy it. Is it okay? Okay, it's cool. Now, I don't mean this out of nationalism, that I actually love The Battle of Algiers. I love The Battle of Algiers because it's one of the best movies I've ever seen. You see, The Battle of Algiers is one of the most hardeningly realistic films. You know, all those found footage movies where you see this idiot in a haunted house with a movie camera, and you follow them, and they're like, oh my god, it's a ghost, but you're like, you're fucking stupid. No. The Battle of Algiers is basically that in warfare. It's not found footage, because then that would make it awful. but it is a very, very, very hard to differentiate from reality and the movies. Scenes of violence, they're just so involved, so documentary-like, that you think you're watching newsreel footage. And even with the characters, and there are two central characters that are fantastic, not very nice people overall. They're very cold, and yet that coldness comes off as genuine, reminiscent of the politicians we see these days who are involved in these violent type of conflict. Its documentary approach reminds me of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which is another one of my favorite movies. It's the war version of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. How's that? And so finally, I figured I wanted to at least buy one Blu-ray of a movie which I had never seen before, and that lucky selection turned out to be Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger's Black Narcissus. Listen, if any director ever deserves to be seen in the best format possible, it's Powell and Pressburger. Their films are picturesque. They're just wonderful, lavish, colorful sets, and I'm looking forward to that being moved in Black Narcissus. If you've ever seen The Red Shoes, The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, if you've ever seen Black Narcissus, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. You know exactly how picturesque their stuff is. And when it came to box sets, there were a lot to choose from. I almost went with Les Blanc, always for pleasure, but instead I chose the complete Jacques Tati. And some of these movies I have not seen. In fact, most of them I haven't seen. I have only seen two, and only one of them all the way through. I stopped halfway of Monsieur Hulot's Holiday. When I watched it, I was pretty much very, very tired. But Playtime is exactly what it sounds like. And that was a very, very ambitious film that I feel like it also deserves to be seen on the Blu-ray format. And since then, I've been looking more and more into the films of Jacques Tati, and his interviews come off as an exceedingly charming man. So I figured if I wanted one of the box sets, I wanted the complete charm of Monsieur Jacques Tati. Of course, there are some films I will regret not having bought. No late thoughts of Abandon for my newfound collection. The John Cassavetes box set with A Woman Under the Influence, or some Wells's F for Fake, you know, that was the master. The Jacques Demy box set. The cinema, she is like a whore, yes? Oh, I'm sick. I shouldn't be drinking this. But by the end of the day, by planning myself out throughout the sale, I was able to get a lot of movies. Enough for clearly nearly 20 minutes of commentary. I'm really glad with my new Blu-ray collection. Just to go over it one more time: Complete Jacques Tati, Black Narcissus, The Battle of Algiers, The Rules of the Game, Double Life of Veronique, Paris, Texas, 8.5, La Jetee, and Sans Soleil, L'Aventura, Badlands, Thief, A Hard Day's Night, Et tu m'aimes También, Band of Outsiders, Le Samourai, Repo Man, and Vampyr. So thank you Criterion, thank you Barnes & Noble, and thank you my job. Fuck you, my sickness. My Criterion Fortress is a little bit closer to completion. Keep them coming. Alright, now I'm gonna retreat to my Criterion Fort. Yeah. Yeah. Aw. 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 You should subscribe to Motorbreath and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and WordPress. This might be my dying wish that you follow us. Don't be that guy who ruins the Make-A-Wish. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. I'm sorry, your authority is not recognized in Fort Kickass unless you follow us. Bitch.